25 years of media excellence. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios here in Kukumlimle at digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country, including ATL FM in Cape Coast, Radio Max in Takrade. It's also an ABN radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, DigiBank, Let's Go, and Teleso 4G. Just a touch. In this edition, we have to learn to live with it. Health Minister announces as government prepares to reopen the economy despite increasing coronavirus infections.
We are not dying in droves. We are not getting too ill in droves. Our hospitals are now even vacant. Before coronavirus, we were talking about no bed syndrome. You remember?
We've got details as the country's case count shoots to 5,530 with 122 new infections added overnight. We'll get a global perspective of the COVID situation, plus hear from the World Health Organization, which is predicting the virus may never go away.
We're going to be on that pathway for a long, long time, and as we've seen in some countries, even a small recurrence of disease can cause the need for a serious response in terms of the public health response.
Also in this edition, father accused of brutalizing his son for bedwetting pleads not guilty. We'll bring you details from the court, but help continues to pour in as Social Welfare Department in Kumasi absorbs medical bills of the minor.
The department is liaising with a psychologist at the Coventry Teaching Hospital to be brought in to speak to the child and her mother. The department has asked the hospital not to charge medical bills in that regard.
We'll also hear from some listeners of the Super Morning Show pledging to support the boy and his distraught mother.
I would love to offer therapeutic help for both the child and then the father.
Mukasa Women's Trust Fund promised that they're going to take up all the financial and legal needs of this 3-year-old boy. And that's an amazing pledge.
We also have sports.
Decision to cancel the Ghana Premier League will be made in consultation with government and FIFA. That's according to GFA President Keto Krako.
And later in the bulletin,
I don't think any rapper runs better than me, except if you're Eminem Nayana to the boat team rap and I'm the machine. Almost 20 years ago, and I'm a new people.
We hear from biochemist and rapper Flo Kingston, whose new joint, #Best Rapper Africa, is reigniting the age-long debate on who is the best in the game. It's coming up here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apawu. And the Ghana government has announced the citizenry would have to learn to live with the novel coronavirus. Infections now stand at 5,530, up by 122 new cases recorded last night. But despite the staggering statistics, government has announced it will soon detail guidelines to ease the restrictions and reopen the economy. At a news conference in Accra a while ago, Health Minister Kweku Agyemang-Manu explained why Ghanaians would have to accept to live with the virus.
That coronavirus has come to live with us. It will have nowhere to go, and we'll have to live with it. There are several diseases that we live with. Malaria has been with us for how long now? HIV/AIDS came, we have never been able to take it off, we still live with it. H1N1 is still around, we live with it. There are several other diseases that we live with. Non-communicable diseases. They don't get spreading and they are not infectious. But when you get it, you live with it. And the word that we all use is managing to live with the disease. So if you are diabetic, they will ask you to take some medications depending on your body chemistry, some milligrams once a day or twice a day. In some instances, you have to inject insulin into your body. That is how you live with diabetes. Hypertension, we live with it. So now, the fact is, coronavirus has been with us, so they call this one novel, new. And for the past 3 or 4 months, the world is living with it. The impact is severe, very, very severe elsewhere, because people are dying in numbers. Here in our country, we are now seeing community spread, but we are not dying. Dr. Badu Sarkodie will come and give you numbers again. Our death rate is quite low. That does not mean that we should allow ourselves to be infected with the disease.
Mr. Ajiman also indicated how companies would now have to run their businesses with the reality of the virus in mind.
And I told one bank manager yesterday that why don't you find somebody to come and stand there to sell masks so that somebody who doesn't have can easily get one to buy to access banking. The transport stations, the drivers are committing themselves, and the associations said that buses that will go on, if you don't wear the mask, you won't get a seat. You should wash hands before you even go on the bus. Gradually, these things are becoming part of our normal lives. And we should all accept to obey or adhere to these guidelines. They are not very comfortable anyway. But when you are not in normal times, you manage what is around you. And I think we should learn to do that.
Health Minister Kweku Ajiman, my colleague Joseph Akable was at the news conference. He joins me in studio. Joseph, let's first get details of the current case count.
The current case count stands at 5,530, meaning that we have 122 new cases. Recoveries are up by 160 to 674 from a previous 514. The new cases are mainly from Greater Accra, specific areas at Tema and Ashaman, while the Ashanti region is also recording a lot of increased cases as well.
The new cases confirmed that added to what we reported 122, with the distributions in Greater Accra 57, Ashanti region 62, Central region 2, and Western North 1. 2 more new deaths were added up, bringing the death toll to 24. 24 deaths among 5,530 cases. The death to positivity rate, which we term as the case fatality rate, stands at 0.43% for the country. The total number of recoveries have increased, and indeed we have done quite a significant number of people having done the first test, which is negative, and you are waiting for the second test to declare them fully recovered.
Well, Joseph, there was also talk about the country's relatively low death rate.
Yes, he says that is good news, but the other side of it is the fact that if you have a lot of people getting infected, it could have dark consequences for our health system. And so the way forward is that they are urging people to stick to the protocols that have been announced, wear the mask, but we need to, more importantly, learn how to live with the virus by ensuring that we socially distance, we wear the mask, we wash our hands regularly, and use the sanitizers when necessary.
Now, there was this issue about the Ghana Tourism Authority giving drinking sports the green light to operate. The sector minister responded to the issues. But first, here's a report on what happened.
At about 10 a.m. on Wednesday, a statement was issued. In a statement, the Ghana Tourism Authority said that food chains and restaurants can operate, sit-downs and drinking bars can operate too. Biologists warned this was a risky decision.
We have to reverse this as quickly as possible. Many things are happening, so you don't want to have additional headache of having drinking spots, hotels and restaurants coming to add up to the already complicated situation we are in now.
But not everyone saw the danger, as biologists like Dr. Michael Owusu saw. The news brought inexplicable excitement to operators of drinking spots and restaurants. In fact, preparation for resumption of business was already underway. Listen to President of the Ghana Tourism Federation, Bella Ahu.
Since we were actually not expecting some of the people calling to be sure, and we are excited about it.
The group calling itself Ghana Drunkards Association also put in a word.
We appreciate the lift on the ban on alcohol because myself as the president, I've been sick for the past 2 weeks because I've not been getting any drink to drink.
So now you're going to start drinking?
Emefa, as I'm talking to you now, the moment the press release was out, I 3 thoughts of ginger to boost my immune system.
But that excitement would be short-lived. At about 5 p.m. on Wednesday, the Ministry of Tourism outlawed the Ghana Tourism Authority's directives with a circular stating,
drinking bars remain closed. All nightclubs remain closed. The public is to note that this circular supersedes the one issued by the regulator.
And that reversed the spread of excitement from the drinking sport operators to the virologists.
When I saw the circular, I was like, what is going on here? But then when I saw the second notice, I was like, oh, okay, so they've seen it, they've realized that this is a no-go area.
So, just in case you had any doubts or even planned a drink-up, you cannot. you can only do so at home because the drinking spots are to remain shut and restaurants are to operate takeout and deliveries only.
That's the news desk report. Now, Joseph, this issue came up at the press conference. What more did the minister say?
The minister made reference to what she calls a drafting error with regards to the EI-64 that was issued, but she insists that the government position is that the drinking spots remain shut.
Also to indicate that the Ghana Tourism Authority is the regulator for the hospitality industry, and therefore periodically they issue directives to the industry during this period, this pandemic period, as to how they could operate safely, pursuant to the decisions of government. But I think that the last directive introduced some easing of the restrictions which were not in conformity with the President's directive that the ban had been extended to the end of the month. So that is the clarification that we sought to do. And I believe that if we all comply with the restrictions as existed prior to this directive to the end of the month, and the government may come out with further directives, and we will advise the industry accordingly.
Tourism Minister Barbara Otinjesi. Now, Joseph, finally, was there any comment on the situation in Obuasi?
Yes, we are told the health service is treating it seriously, and so they've dispatched a team of top health professionals led by the Director General of the Health Service himself and other health experts who are going over to assess the situation in Obuasi. Okay,
so my colleague Ohiming Teria has been on the ground for days now in Obuasi. He joins us on the line. Ohiming, what's the update as we speak?
Good afternoon, Emefa. The team from Accra, led by the Director General of Ghana Health Services, Dr. Patrick Abuaji, is already here in Obuasi, and they are being briefed by the local COVID-19 task force. They are actually in a closed-door meeting, and I'm told after the meeting we will receive some explanations as to what is transpiring at the meeting.
That's my colleague Ohiming Teria there. That's the situation in Ghana. Let's now look at the outlook around the world. Komladum joins me in studio with more on this. But first, the World Health Organization says the coronavirus that causes COVID-19 could become endemic like HIV. At a press conference Wednesday, Executive Director of the WHO, Dr. Michael Ryan, said based on the assessment of the situation, the virus may never go away.
There's a long way to go before there's going to be any bells unrung in this response. So I think we need to be clear about that. Countries, as you've seen, are trying to find a path out and a path towards a new normal, as many people have put it. And we're going to be on that pathway for a long time. And as we've seen in some countries, even a small recurrence of disease can cause the need for a serious response in terms of the public health response.
Dr. Michael Ryan, there is the Executive Director of the WHO. Now, Kamala, take us around the world for updates on the COVID situation.
Well, we begin from Mauritius, where the government has declared victory in the battle against coronavirus, but says it has not yet won the war. Health Minister Kailash Jagupta is quoted as saying that there's 0 active cases in the country now, and no case has been reported in 17 days. So that's in Mauritius. Well, in Burundi, the Foreign Affairs Ministry has expelled the WHO representative in the country and 3 other health experts. A letter from the Foreign Affairs Ministry declared the WHO representatives, Dr. Walter, and 3 others as, quote, persona non grata, and given just 48 hours to leave the country. Now let's go to Wuhan, China, where we know is where this whole virus emanated. Now authorities there are continuing the mass testing in the city where COVID-19 emerged. 11 million residents are expected to be tested in the exercise after a cluster of new cases raised fears of a second wave of infections there. Now let's come back to Africa. In Nigeria, case count is at 4,787 cases with 158 deaths. And in South Africa, 12,074 cases have been recorded with 219 deaths. And in Russia, the number of coronavirus cases has surpassed 250,000, but the daily new infections are falling below 10,000 for the first time in nearly 2 weeks. And according to the latest figures published by the Johns Hopkins University, globally there are 4,362,996 cases of coronavirus, out of which some 297,465 persons have died and more than 1 million people have recovered. In the U.S., there have been 1,390 cases of COVID-19 and 84,136 people have died.
Well, you've been updated both locally and globally on the COVID-19 situation. Let's head back to Ghana now. You're still listening to the Midday News. You're on Joy 99.7 FM. The father who allegedly abused his 3-year-old son appears before court today, and already help is continuing to pour in. The Social Welfare Department in Kumasi says it is moving in to absorb the medical bills of the minor who is battling severe wounds inflicted on him by his own father. We'll hear from the department shortly, but here's Erastus Donko's report he first filed on the story.
Deep cuts and marks of assault spread over his back, hands and thigh, with 2 huge bumps on the forehead. I
was severely tortured. I was beaten, and these are my wounds. I am in pain.
Bob is Junior's 26-year-old mother who dated the child's father, a national service person, for about 7 years.
He can hit me with anything he finds.
That's Erastus Donko's first report he filed on the story. It's good. The matter was in court today, and he joins us on the line. He's been following it in court. Erastus, what's the update?
The update is that the judge of the circuit court has granted bail in the sum of 30,000 Ghana cedis with 3 sureties to be justified to the accused, Ebenezer Osei-Bonsu. And the explanation he gave before he gave that order was that due to the coronavirus pandemic, it will do the accused person more harm than good if he remands him into either police or prison custody. And so he's asking that the accused person should stay away from the baby and his mother until the case has been determined. And so that is the order that has been given by the court this morning.
Well, you've been interacting with the lawyer of this boy. What have they been telling you?
Well, first, the mother of the victim was in court, and she was not happy with the bail bond. They feel that her life is at stake and the boy can do anything to her. But the lawyer for the accused thinks otherwise. He feels that the bail granted does not mean that the case has been settled and that they are going to do everything possible. He said in court that he is personally going to ensure that the accused person stays away from the mother and the child, and so he will make sure that that happens. Then that is what the family is going to do.
That's my colleague Erastus Donko will get more subsequently, but the Social Development Officer, the Kumasi Office of the Department of Social Welfare, Godfred Abogo, says the department is taking over the medical expenses of this little boy.
The department is liaising with a psychologist at the Convention Teaching Hospital to be brought in to speak to the child and her mother, because the mother looked visibly troubled and needs some counseling. The department has asked the hospital not to charge medical bills in that regard, and the department is making recommendations to report to our national office so that if there are any immediate assistance that may be required to assist the lady going forward, same will be done. But for the meantime, we are absorbing the medical bills. We are also keeping a close eye on this child while she remains the custody of the mother and at the hospital facility.
As you're aware, this particular story continues to draw anger and condemnation in equal measure. Yesterday, contributors into the Super Morning Show called for severe sanctions for the boy's abuser. Today, though, the generosity and sympathy of the Ghanaian was exhibited, as some more callers offered to help the family of the boy.
Here in Kumasi, I'm in Accra. I would have loved to offer a lot of therapeutic help if the need could be for both the child and then the father, because there is surely a problem with the guy. Mentally, he is not okay. My heart really goes out for the child.
You are definitely the kind of Ghanaian worth celebrating. Daniel Amasakute is the MD for Meg Dan Limited. He has just delivered to us here at Joy packs of diapers that he promised yesterday. He's delivered them this morning. Enimwa took receipt of them. Thank you so much. God bless you. Mukasa Women's Trust Fund promised yesterday that they're going to take up all the financial and legal needs of this 3-year-old boy. And that's an amazing pledge to come from Mukasa Women's Trust Fund. God bless you for this. Kofi Boache is one of our callers from yesterday. Now, Kofi Boache is an APSU, and he promised that he would make a financial donation as well. He was so moved by what he heard, and he decided that he and his family wanted to step in, intervene, and help financially. God bless you, Kofi, for that. I want to take a moment just to say thank you to all of you. Those of you who have called us, those of you who have made contributions, donations, those of you who have even prayed in your home. Just watch the story on the news, listen to it on the Super Morning Show, and close your eyes for 5 seconds and said a prayer for the victims of such horrible, horrible abuse. I want to thank you, because that positive energy will always drown out the negative. And every time you contribute to it, you make our society better. All of you, God bless you all. Every Ghanaian who has shown concern.
God continually bless you. It's the Midday News. You're on Joy 99.7 FM. Our top story so far, we have to learn to live with it. Health Minister announces as government prepares to reopen the economy despite increasing coronavirus infections. When we return, we have sport. And have we peaked? Ghanaian scientists develops AI country monitor to determine that. That's coming up on our Tech Thursday and later in the bulletin.
I don't think any rapper runs better than me, except if you're Eminem Nayana to the boat team rap and I'm almost 20 years ago.
We hear from biochemist and rapper Flo Kingston, whose new joint hashtag Best Rapper Africa is reigniting the age-long debate on who is the best in the game. I have details.
UMB was established in 1972 as the premier bank for the corporate and private sector in Ghana. From our very beginning, as the only Ghanaian bank serving all categories of businesses, we set a standard for excellence and innovation over the past 45 years. We've built a financially healthy and strong bank, demonstrated our commitment to our customers and to growing businesses, and exhibited originality and innovation at every turn. At UMB, our focus is built around people, service, products, and technology. These are the key to our present success and our future triumphs. At UMB, we're poised to make a difference not only with our customers, but also in the banking industry. We invite you to share in our future. Our future starts now with you.
Thanks so much for sticking with the best. Let's do sports now. Hansman Sando.
Any decision to cancel the Ghana Premier League will be made in consultation with government and FIFA. That's according to GFA President Ketu Kweku. The Ghana Premier League has been suspended since March and there's been calls to cancel the league, but Ketu Kweku says the move will present an enormous financial challenge for clubs.
We'll continue to work closely with government and the health ministry to see what the turnout would be given considered circumstances within Ghana and beyond the shores of Ghana. Beyond the shores of Ghana, I'm talking about FIFA. However, if we are to cancel the league, it will be another challenging period for clubs, for players, for referees, and all active participants of the sport.
GFA President Ketu Kweku and Newcastle United fans have been urged to unite to protest the club from a takeover by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund. The message came in an open letter from Hatis Cengiz, who is a fiancé of murdered journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Western intelligence agencies believe the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who heads the PIF, ordered Khashoggi's murder in 2018. That's your sports.
Thank you very much, Hans. Now, the minority in Parliament is demanding the immediate withdrawal of a directive from the Ghana Revenue Authority to the ECG to charge up to 18.1% tax on the electricity tariff, noting it will impoverish Ghanaians. A 4th May 2020 circular from the GRA to ECG reportedly directed the charging of 12.5% VAT, 2.5% NHIL, and 2.5% Get Fund levy, which the ECG has not been charging since March 2001. Though it's mandatory on the legal books. A minority spokesperson on energy, Adams Mutawakilu, warns the move will bring hardship to consumers who are already burdened because of COVID-19. Joseph Obokugapo was there. He joins us on the line. So give us more details. What exactly is this about?
Adam Mutawakilu is quoting a letter that he says has been issued by the Ghana Revenue Authority, and with regards to the charges that are supposed to be put on electricity tariffs going forward. The document, he says, doesn't give a specific date, but he's worried that anytime it comes into effect, this is something that will make Ghanaians worse off. And he's even more worried that right from the time of former President Kufuor, the said additional 18% when it comes to taxes that electricity consumers are supposed to pay have not been deducted at the level of ECG, and that he thinks it's a sign that President Akufo-Addo's decision to do that now means that he's insensitive to the plight of Ghanaians. He's calling for a reverse in that particular directive.
And as such, consumers were not taxed.
Since 2011. Although it's on
since 2001.
2001.
Yes. So successive presidents hold on to the fact that we need to give some consumers some relief. Only President Nana Akufo-Addo, not at any time, at this difficult time that Ghanaians are going through, has scrapped it and imposing it on residential consumers.
That's the ranking member on the Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament, Adams Mutawakilu. Well, the Ghana Water Company is also announcing some serious leakages detected along the main 42-inch transmission pipeline from the Bong treatment plant to the Tema booster station and along the motorway to the Bunglo booster station. As a result, some areas will be affected, including the Tema industrial area, Tema Harbour, all communities in Tema, Tema General Hospital, Sakumono Bacho, Naspintex, Coca-Cola area, amongst others. Now, times of crisis are always also the times for fake news and propaganda. The more ridiculous the claim, the more traction it gains on social media. On today's episode of Joy News series titled Combating Fake News, we bring you the story of a 24-year-old who has been remanded pending trial for disseminating fake news on social media and inciting the public to commit crime. There's more in the following report by Nicholas Eko Yamwa, read to you.
Corona is not killing Ghanaians, and it will not kill any Ghanaian. Why? Because that's
24-year-old Bless Ahmedegbe making claims in a recorded video of himself inciting the public to defy the stay-home presidential directive aimed at halting the spread of coronavirus in Ghana. In the said video, which was made during Ghana's 3-week lockdown period, Bless claimed the directive to stay at home was a hoax and he planned to install 5G cables in the affected areas. Those 5G cables, he claimed, were meant to kill Ghanaians. The claims Bless make in this video are untrue. Ghana Health Service statistics show coronavirus has killed 24 Ghanaians. It has been scientifically proven that 5,408 have been infected so far. Well, whilst many feel invincible on social media, Bless was struck down by the national security operatives who came across the video. He was arrested on Tuesday, charged with false communication and assault on public officer contrary to Electronic Communications and Criminal and Other Offences Act. He was put before the Accra Circuit Court 4 and remanded. Bless Ahmedegbe has been explaining his actions after his remand. He claims the video was meant for a skit on his personal YouTube channel but went viral.
The motive behind the video actually, because that is not even the video I was coming to do, but that is the acting part of it.
That's part of Joy News series titled Combating Fake News. It's time for Tech Thursday now, and with Ghana's COVID-19 cases inching towards 6,000, scientists are emphasizing need to know impact of the country's response to the pandemic, and that requires development of artificial intelligence, AI. Love FM's Kwesi Debra speaks with Dr. Mark Amobuating of the University of Energy and Natural Resources in Sunyai.
The system uses a technology called convolution neural network, commonly applied to analyzing visual imagery. Dr. Amobuating has used this to pound the gavel on Ghana's COVID-19 situation.
I looked at what was happening in Ghana, then I realized that the coronavirus is still rising and hasn't peaked yet. And truly, if you look at Ghana, our cases, we've been doubling our cases almost every week. I wanted to make sure that the AI is not biased, so I went and I looked at the data behind the scenes and I compared it and realized Ghana was just on the mean. We are just following the curve and to actually prove that we are not there.
But how does it work?
Best thing was to try and look at patterns within it, and since everything was difficult, I tried to okay, let me see if I can use artificial intelligence to analyze the data that is coming. That's of the Johns Hopkins University. They compile data from World Health Organization, and so the AI pulls the data, then it pre-processes it and analyzes the patterns looking at the past 100 days, and it compares it to what is happening over the train period.
That's our Tech Thursday with Love FM's Kwesi Deborah. It's time for entertainment. Is that what you say? Entertainment. And Becky is here. And Best Rapper Africa is trending.
It is trending. Rapper Flo Kingston in a recent track talked about the lack of respect for him as the best rapper in Ghana and across Africa. He believes he is the best rapper in Ghana and Africa. That is the Kumasi-based rapper Flo Kingston, who says he cannot be compared to any other rapper here in Ghana.
Because I don't think any rapper raps better than me. No rapper on the planet and who is a rapper better than me. Except if you Eminem Nayana to the boat team rapper.
The rapper who rose to fame from the Brothers musical group with his brothers is often listed among the top rappers in the country. However, he's had a tough competition from the likes of Sarkodie, Manifest, and Medical, who have all won a VGMA Best Rapper Award to back their brag. Yet, Flokin put himself above these rappers. His new track, Best Rapper Africa, is a testament. So Best Rapper Africa is actually trending on Twitter. Sway Ghana says that they are attacking him because he's collapsing their business at Team Flo King. I love Zendaya says that sick of you despise at Sarkodie, you're saying Flo Kingston is the best rapper in Africa. You get problem. The heaven you go some.
Well, Twitter is sick. That's it for the midday news. You're on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Dr. Mentor Tabil has living word. Please stay.
What you want eat?